into the game, though. Again, Steadfast. Oh my gosh, this is the wrong... Hold on. I went the wrong StarCraft scene, and my face was on the screen for a minute. I was like, that's not right. DreamHack doesn't let me put my face on the screen. Gross. Anyway, Steadfast, we're on your camera for the final series of the day. Talk to us about our first player.
All right, we have spawning up in the top left position, the blue Zerg player from Psystorm Gaming moving to Toronto. It is Namshar.
I saw you guys talking about the city a little bit in the pregame chat, showing off things like, you know, a country that knows how to respond to pandemics and universal health care and Timbits and poutine. It just made me sick. It just made me sick. His opponent in the bottom right-hand side, also a Canadian transplant, representing Team Alpha X. It's our Terran player, MaSa.
Yeah, so there was, we talked about this a little bit before. Looks like pretty standard openings from both players. Talked about it a little bit before, but about Maru, sorry. I'm so used to calling him Maru.
Yep.
Because, you know, like, he's just been such a staple of the Toronto scene.
Yeah.
And I just know him that way so much. So we have a joke that we call him the one true Maru.
Steadfast, they're vacuuming in my office. I'm going to mute my microphone for a minute. Do you want to talk a little about the players so that the people back home don't hear the vacuuming happening outside my office?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Not a problem. My pleasure. I love talking. It's something I've done once or twice. MaSa, though, it's a very interesting story. So he actually originally was born in South Korea, but he applied for, I believe... Basically, it's the same thing where you're not a citizen, but it allows you to live in the country, but you can never leave while you have this status. I believe the term is landed immigrant.
Hotel California, I believe, is the term. You can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave.
Yep. Yes, exactly. So that is part of the reason why, you know, and I talked about this yesterday, he was so dominant in the local Canadian, especially local Toronto scene. Oh man, nice micro from MaSa, grabbing one of those lings right there.
Yeah.
He was just so ridiculously dominant, and he never really had exposure to the international scene because he unfortunately couldn't leave the country up until, I want to say like 2015 or 2016.
Wow. What a weird immigration status to even have in a country. My country is so concerned with people coming in and staying forever, and your country's like, no, come in and stay forever. We dare you. You're so polite.
I think the issue wasn't necessarily that he wouldn't be allowed to leave the country, but if he ever tried to come back in, I don't think that he would have been able to. Now, it wasn't like, you know, he was like a fugitive from the law. It was just, obviously, countries have weird rules with immigration.
Oh, tell me about it.
He is now a full citizen. We claim him as our own. I've always claimed him as our own. And
like Justin
I couldn't
Bieber,
be happier.
Right?
Oh, no.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. There's so many good Canadians. I got to pick on the few bad ones just to make people happy. Speaking of making people happy, MaSa doing the build by the people for the people. We're going to see our very first cattle bruisers of the tournament, Steadfast. I'm pretty sure I have not yet seen a battlecruiser out for a Terran player in a week of EU play, in a week of Latin America play, and in 2 days of North American StarCraft. I don't think I've seen a battlecruiser at all, much less a battlecruiser opener. What does Namshar need to do to prepare himself? Besides scout the battlecruisers.
Well, that's step number one for sure. This run-by attempt from MaSa is going to run into a couple of lings, and there's a lot of lings coming out from Namshar, but they're not out just yet, and that means a couple of drones will go down. Really nice micro from Namshar so far. That could have been disastrous considering how theoretically unprepared he was. Only loses 5 drones for basically a mineral line being exposed for about 15-20 seconds right there.
Yeah, definitely. And now a lot of lings coming across the map here. What are the odds that Namshar can get in here and scout this? Almost nothing as the Hellions are here. The full wall just finished up here. He's going to grab these Hellions. Oh my god, the high ground Hellions adding on some DPS here. Going to get a couple Parthian shots off. But yes, we will see both of the low ground Hellions getting picked off. That's a rough loss early in the game, but still no scout on these battlecruisers. I think it's still going to be a secret. That first one just about to pop out, Steadfast.
Yeah, he does not have any idea. He did build safety spores, I believe, one in each mineral line. So worst case scenario, he is, you know, going to be able to deal with this not too badly. There we go. Blink into the natural. Quick pull from Namshar. And that will cancel if MaSa was doing any preconceived target fire. By getting it out of vision of that battlecruiser, it does cancel if you ever shift click. Because you can actually shift click the target fire while the battlecruiser is teleporting, because of course it's already got vision.
Right.
It just can't. It hasn't actualized yet.
Yes.
But nice job from Namshar to kind of break any attempt there.
Yeah, this is actually a really great defense from Namshar here. These queens are rotating so well. As I say that, the queen's not really rotating down to the natural here. So actually what I just said was wrong. A bit of a missed rotation there at the end. That's going to allow 3, maybe 4 more drones to go down. Total drones lost count now up to 12, and there's still more coming. And of course, this battlecruiser will have its teleport ability available quite soon. Going to finish this strafing run and finish off with 9 additional drone kills. Man, Steadfast, that's actually a lot more damage than I thought that MaSa was going to be able to do.
Yeah, and part of it is that, you know, for a while, it was a really tight defense. It was really good, but he just got a little bit, maybe a little bit slapdash with it, and didn't quite close that out. Now we do have MaSa moving around with these Hellions he has rebuilt. It is going to be mech from him, and Namshar has recognized that. He's going with the double attack upgrades, and we're going to be seeing him play. I have to assume. Oh, nice!
Yeah, wow.
Nice. He got a Yamato snipe.
Dang. That's great.
We're going to be seeing... Oh, sorry, go on.
It's just that's ideal, you know, Yamato and get the heck out of there. That's exactly what you want to do. Any queens you can kill, well worth it. Larva's going to become a big problem right now as more roaches pop out. Very difficult to defend against this mech player, especially if the mech player already has 2 battlecruisers out, 3 battlecruisers out. MaSa has not yet lost any of those BCs, and it looks like it's going to be the style that I affectionately call battle, which is battlecruisers with battle mech underneath, meaning you've got a very light mobile army underneath the battlecruisers that really pack a punch. This can be so difficult to deal with. Steadfast, as a Zerg player, what do you have to do to prep yourself for this? And is Namshar doing the right things?
Well, I mean, the double attack upgrade style, a very good response. Corruptor, Ravager, Lingbane, a decent response as well. But it's really important to have creep spread out, and we do see Namshar fighting for that. But MaSa's just not letting him get anything going. Anytime he drops down some creep tumors, tries to rebuild them, well, look at that. They're not even going to finish here.
Beautiful.
So good. So nice. So both players are really making great decisions, but MaSa is kind of winning out a little bit in this creep, I guess, battle.
Man, this is insane. Right now, 3 bases down for MaSa, but he's even on workers, or was even until Namshar got that last round out. Very close to even on workers with his Zerg opponent. That is so rare. And look at that, dodging the corrosive vials, focus firing down the queens. Now, he will have to Yamato cannon and GT heck out of there with these corruptors here. Oh my god, maybe he won't. Oh yeah, will be forced away there. Queens and corruptors, a potent combination against those battlecruisers, but still has not lost a battlecruiser. In fact, if we look at the resources lost tab, we can see, whoa, that is some efficient trading from our Terran player, Steadfast.
Oh, it really is. And you have done an excellent job of consistently pointing out army value differences. And if we look at it right now, we can see that MaSa has a huge army value lead on his opponent. Namshar did just start up a good number of units, so it's not as bad as it was about 3 seconds ago, but it is still pretty significant here. Over 1,000 resources different.
Yeah, amazing. Blue Flames finished up, of course. We've got that plenty of Hellions out of the map right now, and of course with the Cyclones, Cyclone count not as high as it maybe could be. In fact, it's at 0, even though that mag field accelerator is finished up. I'd love to see some Cyclones getting scrubbed in eventually, but it looks like there's actually a change in tack here from MaSa, who seems to be going for a bit more of a traditional mech style. He was posturing up for that battle mech style with just Cyclones, Hellions, and battlecruisers, but now 3 tanks coming out, and it looks like we're going to see a much more standard, slow, turtly mech style from MaSa. Good switch? Bad switch? How you feeling about that, Steadfast?
I mean, I can tell you that mech is difficult to deal with. People will say swarm hosts are the answer, but the beauty of mech right now is it's so much more flexible than it ever has been, and that is thanks, of course, to the upgrades. Wow, a lot of tanks being left unsieged right now. Big corrosive piles coming down, and oh man, all of a sudden Namshar jumps on top of the army of MaSa. Not enough Hellions to cover, and it is going to get absolutely obliterated. MaSa really stepping too far forward.
Oh, man, this is a huge mistake from MaSa. He was in such a good spot, rotating around, setting himself for a late game, and now he's going to trade out tanks and a battle cruiser for Ravagers. And man, let me tell you, that does not feel good as a Terran player. Not the trades you want to be making, and that has just absolutely hamstrung MaSa right now. The silver lining is that behind this, he's on plenty of bases. He's got 93 workers. What does he think he is, a Zerg player here? And plenty of income. That income graph still in, well, almost in MaSa's favor here. It should be swapping over pretty quickly as soon as MaSa's last couple units pop in. But with the Corruptors here to prevent that base from going down, MaSa is really going to struggle, man. Trying to go for drilling claws and smart servos. I don't know. Namshar just seems to now have command of this game.
Oh, he absolutely does. And, well, these Corruptors, now that one of the battle cruisers was taken down, the other ones are out of position, they're going to caustic spray down both of these new command centers, and that has huge losses for MaSa. He only gets, I think, 2 Corruptors on the trade right there.
Yeah, something like that. Not enough. The tanks will finally siege up just in time to drive Namshar away, saving that natural ramp, but man, Namshar being so pernicious, really sticking around and getting as much damage as he can. Obviously, the tank count from MaSa is great. He's got that sexy tank skin that makes him look like they're like twice the size of normal tanks, which I love. But he's going to push out on the map again, and man, this just seems so dangerous. A lot of unsieged tanks going across the map, and if he gets caught by Roach Ravager again without sieging up, he could lose an awful lot again.
Oh, nice find right there with those Hellions on the top side, and that is all thanks to this beautiful creep spread. Namshar has respread it since well, honestly, he's just been tenacious about respreading it the whole time, but I have to give kudos to him for just being so good about that. Now, MaSa still does have a very frightening army, but Namshar, ooh, oh, nice corrosive biles grabbing 2 tanks right there.
Yeah, interesting setup here. Oh god, Baneling somewhere on the map. 17 SCVs going down. Looks like the 3rd base getting evacuated there for MaSa. And this Corruptor flyby actually going really terribly here. Both players trading an awful lot. I don't know how I feel about either of this. With 17 SCVs going down, that's going to put Namshar in the economic lead. But the tanks getting cleaned up on the other side, going to put Namshar in a pretty strong spot. He's also lost his Corruptors. The battle cruisers grabbing the 1 o'clock base. My goodness gracious, Steadfast. Is there anywhere on the map that there's not action happening?
It certainly doesn't seem like that. You mentioned that SCV. We see the carnage, the remaining tragedy of that base. Cool. And, well, Transfuse is going to desperately try to keep these queens alive, but ultimately they will run out of energy. And, well, 2 of them are going to go down, but now the teleport will have to be used as a couple more Corruptors do join up. And that was a really big loss for Namshar, losing those Corruptors to those Cyclones. And now MaSa has switched into pure battle mech. And I have to say, I am really a much bigger fan of him going for this. He was really playing that heavy tank style like it was battle mech before. Yeah. Oh, but a lot of Banelings trying to connect.
Man, good dodges there. MaSa's micro is just so good. The kiting there, absolutely immaculate. Not losing more than a couple of Hellions to those Banelings. That could have been much, much worse for MaSa. He's able to thin down the Ling Bane count just a little bit. And Namshar is not able to build up a hugely massive bank right now. In fact, Namshar's bank just barely 1,000 right now, and he does have 13 larvae on the map, but I feel like that larva number doesn't seem sustainable. He's on 6 bases, but I'm starting to get a little concerned that if he keeps trading away inefficiently like that, if this battle mech keeps getting good trades, Namshar's going to start to struggle in larva and in building up a big bank. Nice corrosive biles, though, and oh god, with the Baneling flank, this looks terrifying.
Oh, that's so many units getting taken out, and well, you asked me what you need to do as Zerg against mech, specifically against battle mech. Flanks are king, and we saw that in spades right there.
Wow, absolutely disgusting here. The Corruptors, of course, can't engage with those battle cruisers with the Cyclones right underneath. Gonna force the cancel of that the planetary fortress, but with the caustic spray going down, it does look like actually this planetary is gonna fall down. A nice snipe there by Namshar, who's gonna hold MaSa to 5 bases while he's got 7 of his own on the map.
Ooh, but he does lose 3 more Corruptors on the trade out, which is technically more than the cost of the command center. Of course, you have to take into account mining time and lost opportunity cost there, but always a little bit bitter when the losses happen there. Oh, MaSa sieging those tanks in a little bit of an awkward location. These BCs, only one of them has gone down so far, and it was to that corrosive biles earlier. Those corrosive biles earlier. And meanwhile, 24 corruptors have gone down on the other side of the map.
That's what you might consider too many corruptors, Steadfast. It just seems like an awful lot to lose, especially with the battle cruisers still being a little bit annoying. 3 of them still alive here. Nice surrounds though, and trading Lings for Hellions, 100% worth it. Corrosive Bile's going to finish off these tanks here, and this just looks better and better for Namshar. MaSa, of course, with nice tank positionings here, but there's just not enough to fight. A good Cyclone attack on the counter. My God, Steadfast, everything happening all the time, everywhere on this map.
Absolutely, and we will see some Yamato cannons taking care of even more of these corruptors right here. Nice little parting shot on those on that one tank, takes it out, but Namshar is really starting to bleed out a lot. And you mentioned banks. Zerg really needs a bank to be able to deal with this, and as the economies get lower and lower for both players, that's really going to favor the Terran player in this scenario. Oh, that smart servos transformation is so fast.
They're so zippy, and you know, earlier you were saying how what Zerg players need to do to fight against BattleMech, and you said very wisely, flanks are king. But the answer, of course, for Terran players, what do Terran BattleMech players need to do against a Zerg player who's very well established? And the answer is, one, don't lose those battle cruisers. But secondly, little run-bys can be so effective. We see 15 drones getting roasted. That's it for the battle cruisers, by the way. But little run-bys with Blue Flame Hellions and Hellbats are so annoying in the late game to deal with. If you've got a big Ling Bane army somewhere on the map, you can't afford to move those things all the way across to deal with a tiny little Hellbat Hellion or Hellbat run-by. And this is exactly what MaSa is doing. This is so smart. But nice queen position here from Namshar to prevent this from happening.
Yeah, that is pretty nice. We do see a big Ravager push coming in on this newest base. MaSa constantly having his tanks undefended or underdefended. As I say that, he's got a nice deep tank line this time, and he won't lose that, but he does have to give up the position on the high ground, loses that 6th base once again. But on the other side, Namshar, as you mentioned, this attack is going to take out this base, and well, as each player gets lower and lower in economy, MaSa is starting to take more and more control of this game.
Completely agree. Completely agree. Namshar down behind on the drone count. Now he's down to, remember when he had 7 bases earlier? He's down to just 4 now, rebuilding 1 at the 9 o'clock position. But that's going to be very difficult. I talked a little bit earlier about larva management, and since these bases have not been very well defended, that problem is going to get more and more difficult for Namshar as the game goes on. Look, if you're not maxed out as a Zerg player, if you're not banking up minerals, gas, and larva, you're going to have a really rough time continuing these aggressive pushes. I don't know what the hell these corruptors think they're doing here, but it doesn't matter. Namshar doesn't feel like he's got enough, and he's really feeling the pinch there. MaSa grabs game number 1. Steadfast, so much to talk about, so much action. Can you pick out maybe 1 or 2 really important times, positionings, army compositions? What were the big factors that led to MaSa's win there?
Well, he got himself a pretty nice opening with that battle cruiser setup. He was able to get a decent bit of damage done. I would say he was in a pretty solid position for most of the game in the early and mid game, and then he kind of threw that army away, and Namshar, you know, reclaimed initiative and kind of took the map control. But MaSa was just so good at hitting in multiple places at once, always keeping his opponent just a little bit off guard. It never felt like Namshar could get comfortable. It always felt like he was just getting, you know, just not even big attacks, but just kind of like jabs, jab to the ankle, to the, I don't know what they do. And
jab to the ankle, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, but just keeping him off guard and keeping him off balance. And it felt like that was what ultimately kept Namshar off.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. I might characterize it as saying that MaSa, is it fair to say that MaSa was in control for most of the end game there, in what was, I'll grant you, a very chaotic game, but it did feel like MaSa was really setting the pace with a lot of what he was doing, keeping his army together, defending fairly well, waiting for Namshar to come to him, pushing him away, and then getting some counter damage done. He really struggled at the south position, establishing that inside 6 o'clock base at the Rich Vespine Geyser, but other than that, he held fairly well around the outsides and was able, with those Blue Flame Hellion run-bys, and with some Cyclone pushes at the 4th base particularly, able to snipe down those bases over and over again, and just sort of wearing Namshar down. And this is one thing that I think a lot of people don't think about is a lot of the game can be pretty mental, like mental warfare, where if you can keep your opponent busy all the time, their brain is eventually just going to start saying, oh god, I lost this fight, oh god, I lost this fight, oh god, I lost this fight. And even if they're doing fairly well overall in the game, if you keep handing them little losses over and over again, you can really wear them down pretty easily. So I think MaSa did a nice job of that this game, and he's going to certainly look to keep up the pressure in game number 2. I would not be surprised to see a strong timing attack, maybe even some cheese out of MaSa if he wants to capitalize.
Yeah, I would certainly expect to see MaSa continue to try and batter his opponent. And he has always been such a strong player at the mental game. And, well, we'll have to see if he goes for something, you know, similar to that. Maybe like a Hellbat push here, or I don't know. We'll see.
Filthy, sloppy game on both sides. A little wild, a little chaotic, but that's how we like it here at DreamHack NA. Steadfast. Let's take a look at what's happening here, because it looks like my prediction is going to come true. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side of Pillars of Gold LE, it is our Canadian Terran player who is sending out some very not suspicious SCVs early on. From Alpha X, it's MaSa.
And his opponent spawning up in the top right. Will he sniff it out, or is he going to get cheesed out of this series? It is the blue Zerg player, Psystorm Gaming's Namshar. Now, I want to point out, it is so common for EU players to go for a really, really aggressive Overlord scout pattern, but they are not currently going in the direction of these barracks.
Nope, that is not an immediate win here for Namshar. Now, if this Overlord banks south, which it's going to do, it should see this, but it's going to be quite late. The first barracks will probably be about finished up by the time Namshar spots it. So yeah, if we take a look at Namshar's vision here, we're going to see... Oh, let me select that Overlord for myself. There it is. We're going to see Namshar will finally see this one proxy rack. So he'll get in and see the second one, but the Overlord's going to show itself. The barracks will finish up, and now MaSa knows he's been scouted. What do you think about Namshar showing that Overlord? Good play, bad play, neutral play?
I don't think it was necessarily intended one way or the other. I've never been fond of it myself. I think if you can keep it from being seen, that is a big deal, because it will affect your opponent's, you know, moves and counter moves are very important. Bunker is going to start on the high ground, by the way. This is so old school. MaSa getting a full wall right here, and this is, well, probably a dead hatchery.
Yeah, no pull at all from Namshar, who instead is going for that Roach Warren on the high ground. I like the Roach Warren follow-up. You're obviously going to need some of those Ravagers to start picking down the bunkers, but as you said, this full wall off at the natural is so old school and so annoying to deal with. With all 3 of these bunkers finishing up, with all 3 of the SCVs staying alive for repairs, they can give each other those SCV bro hugs, and man, this is looking rough. Namshar's strategy, obviously, Roaches into Ravagers. MaSa's strategy, Marines, Marines, Marines. Who is going to come out on top here?
Well, I don't think Namshar should be even contesting this. I think it... Oh, that was a weird jump. I think it's an already dead hatchery, so... I don't know about that, but he is going to try and contest. He saw that it was only 2 barracks, but he doesn't know for a fact that there's no 3rd barracks behind this. A lot of Terran players love to, you know, hide a 3rd racks even further back.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. This is going to be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I suspect Namshar might have done some counting here and might be able to guess based on how long it's taking this hatch to go down that there's probably no 3rd racks, but that's a very, very tricky, difficult position, a difficult call to make here. We're going to see these Roaches focus firing down the SCVs. Nice micro there from MaSa, able to save one of the SCVs, but you're absolutely correct. The hatch is going to go down with 1 SCV still repairing. These barracks are going to stay alive for practically ever. Salvage 1, salvage 2, salvage 3 should start here soon. He's not going to get that 3rd salvage off, but finally, this will be broken. The real problem for MaSa right now is the counter pressure.
Yeah, he did, of course, delay his tech quite a bit by going for that triple bunker wall-in. You know, his factory is not done yet. He's going for a couple of bunkers behind this. Namshar did lose the hatchery, so that was a pretty hefty loss for him. But MaSa, well, you know what? No, he's going to be able to get home with 4 Marines and a full bunker. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Yeah, high ground bunker, of course, very valuable, meaning that if these Ravagers want to get the high ground vision, they got to float the Overlord in. Very smart from Namshar to bring the Overlord all the way in here, even canceling the bunker on the high ground. Wow, MaSa's feeling very confident about this hold here. He's got to be very careful about dodging corrosive. Oh, he's rebuilding the bunker, sorry, at a different location. But he's doing a nice job microing these SCVs out, dodging corrosive vials, and if he could somehow snipe this Overlord with the Cyclone, that could be a huge win.
Yeah, that is most assuredly going to be his #1 goal right here. Namshar, for now, just going to try and corrosive bile down the supply depots here. Now, will supply block MaSa pretty severely. And,
wow.
Oh, man, this is actually really, really getting out of hand right now for MaSa.
Yeah, those SCVs need to be on repair for the Cyclone as well here. Again, the Cyclone could pick off that Overlord for the vision, which would be huge, but it looks like he's just going for the DPS right now. Behind this, Namshar rebuilding a natural, building a couple drones, but MaSa actually ahead economically here, and he started his CC on the high ground. It looks like both of these players fairly confident this aggression is going to end. With the Viking to press the Overlord away, I think that MaSa is actually going to be able to hold here fairly easily. Namshar can do a soft contain for a little while longer, but I'm pretty sure that MaSa finds himself in great shape.
I wouldn't say great shape.
Okay, that's
his
fair.
command center
Decent
is
shape.
quite delayed, and Namshar was able to rebuild his hatchery, and he's going to be on double inject production pretty shortly. Oh, this is cute. Wants to land that bunker, or that barracks. And actually, this is pretty important if he can get this down beforehand. Namshar doesn't have enough money. Oh, he wants to block. Okay, nice job. He's going to block the barracks from landing. And he will be able to
very nicely
get that
done.
hatchery down.
Just in time there. Of course, MaSa does see the timing of the third base, which is nice. Double command center out for MaSa back home. So he's got the one, and there's the second one starting on the high ground. Realizing his opponent is going to macro, he's like, all right, we're going to macro. We're going to macro. This game going to go on a little bit longer, Steadfast. Cloaked Banshee, though, which is a very, very cute maneuver. Of course, no lair tech right now for Namshar. No spore crawlers down yet. The Cloaked Banshee has not been spotted. I kind of like this follow-up from MaSa.
Yeah, I actually like it quite a bit. I think it's a really good play out of this this failed proxy 2 racks. This Viking, by the way, already picking off not just the Overlord at the front, but another one in the main, looking to get an additional kill. It will sacrifice itself, but it does get that Overlord.
A good win. Every Overlord kill matters immensely. Of course, MaSa lost those 2 supply depots earlier, so tit for tat, and turnabout is fair play here in game number 2 as the things start to even out just a little bit. Third base just finishes up for Namshar here. The spores are in position now, and with Overlord speed, Namshar's going to get in for a really, really nicely timed scout into the main base. We'll see the third command center. We'll see the Cloaked Banshees coming down as well, and should see those additional barracks popping down. We are going to see bioplay again, or bioplay in game number 2. For MaSa, unlike game 1, which was straight mech.
Yes, very important that Namshar recognizes that, and seeing it basically as Stim starts and as the additional barracks are coming down, that is such a nice bit of information for MaSa.
Oh dear, I've just disconnected, I believe. This is a problem between the BattleNet servers and myself. Obviously, my Discord call is still going. The stream is still running. I'm going to put us back on camera for a minute here. This is not a problem with my internet at home. This is a problem between myself and the BNet server, which is a very interesting place to be. I'm not dropping a single frame. My internet connection is very healthy right now. So this does happen sometimes where I lose connection to the BNet server. Steadfast, I'm not sure if you can let the players know in the chat that it's between it's BNet issue, not my personal internet issue. I wonder if they'll allow me to rejoin the game. According to the rules, if a streamer disconnects for any reason, we're obligated to leave the game. So once I get dropped from the game, the players are not obligated to let me back in, which means it's possible, Steadfast, you may have to do like a radio-style commentary of this game, as I won't be able to show it on stream, and that would be really frustrating for us here. But we'll see what the players and admins have to say, as again, I've lost connection with BattleNet, my internet is fine, obviously I'm still broadcasting beautifully, or at least broadcasting with no frame drops. I don't want to comment on how gorgeous the two of us are, Steadfast. But a rough spot to be in. I imagine I'm about to time out in-game?
Yes, you have just timed out. They haven't kicked you just yet. Did
you mention to him that it's a BNet issue, not an internet issue?
Oh man, I don't think anyone can drop you, actually.
Oh, okay. Can you still type to him in chat, though?
I can.
Could you let them know it's a BNet, not an internet issue, and I'm still here? Maybe ask if they would be amenable to resuming from replay so that the stream can go on.
Yep.
Just before I get dropped here. I'm not trying to be rude to the players. I know they're really anxious to get back to the game, I'm sure, but it would be great if we could stream. Obviously, again, according to the rules, they do not have to say yes. They can just say, nope, get out of here. But since I'm not dropping frames or internet or anything, it's just a BNet issue. A simple reconnect or a simple resume from replay should be enough.
Okay, looks like they're going to want to try and play it out here.
Okay, that's no problem. I'm going to go ahead and surrender then and let the players go to it.
Cool.
Yep, so unfortunately, guys, that's really bad luck here in game number 2, especially with such an exciting opener. Steadfast, how would you feel about doing a radio-style commentary, or would you rather just go to a quick break and wait for the game to finish?
You know what? We can try a share from screen. I only have the single screen at the moment.
Okay.
But we can try sharing screen.
Let's see if that'll work. This will
right,
be a little bit ugly on the production side, guys, but a little bit ugly is better than no game at all. So let's see if Steadfast can share his screen here and maybe watch the game that way. Good idea. Good idea.
Oh.
Again, I can only apologize. As I said, my internet is just fine, but nothing else works. All right, cool. Let me get rid of all of this stuff here. And get rid of my ugly mug. And it looks like we are good to go here, Steadfast. We should be... yeah, rocking and rolling. There's a little bit of an error on the screen, and of course it will be a very blocky production, but I think we're in. Rock and roll.
Yeah, never comfortable. It's always very laggy, especially if you don't have like the Discord upgrades. But MaSa is going to be in here with a couple of cloaked banshees. Ooh, one of them getting very low on HP, but it does have cloak. Second one though, no cloak energy, is going to get taken out. Oof. And well, this one banshee, it's really low on energy. It might get taken out as well.
7 drones going down. That looks like pretty decent damage. Steadfast, could you do me a favor and turn off your camera? It's taking up just a tiny amount of the screen here, and I'm sure people are going to be bugged by it. Goodness gracious. Thank you so much. This is so great of you to share your screen here. I'm trying to see what's going on here. Oh, hang on. The stream has ended. That was the whole camera. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's all right. Turn your camera back on. Turn your stream share back on. It's fine. Some game is better than no game.
You know what? No, I can do the share screen without the thing. So
okay.
Sorry about that. All right.
Everybody back home, thank you so much for your patience. Again, I dropped out of the game, but not out of the internet, so that's a little bit rough. We are ready to roll. We are ready to roll. All right, Steadfast, tell us what's going on.
All right, we're looking at a classic Ling Bane Muta versus Bio setup here. This is going to be a pretty exciting one. I have to say, MaSa always been such a great micro player, but we saw in that last game Namshar so good with his creep spread, so good just in general. I would say if you were to specialize in anything, it is versus that Bio play.
Yeah, I mean, does it get any more classic than Ling Bane Muta versus Bio Tank out of our Terran player here? How many tanks are on the field right now? Steadfast, are there any yet? Sorry, I'm just sort of catching up in the game. Yeah, 3 tanks in the field. All right, great. And a big double drop loaded up here. Luckily, the medevacs have been spotted by Namshar, so we might suspect a drop coming. That drop gonna head around the north side to the 3rd base of Namshar. And yeah, all this it's amazing to think that this game ended with this game started rather with a double proxy racks into full bunker wall. It's so good to see a cheese like that turn into a full game.
It's always nice to see that. It's a really strong build. Maru, of course, very well known for kind of having that ability to turn failed proxy 2 racks into 1 games. And well, this is just another Maru here, and look at that. Nice target fire on 1 or 2 Banelings, and he just loads up and gets every single Marine back out.
Yeah, really well done, and this is the real problem going Ling Bane Muta, is that until those Mutas pop out, the Zerg player has no answer to drops, which means that the drops, the medevac drops from our Terran player MaSa are going to be infinitely efficient, Steadfast. That means you can always pick up and get out, and they're going to be great. Steadfast, would you do me a favor and hit Control X on your keyboard and swap the position of those 2 players on the ribbon on the bottom of the screen. Perfect. Thank you so much. And then adjust the score as well. It is MaSa 1, Namshar 0. It's so weird when you swap the players' positions, the score doesn't go with them. Very odd in the overlay, but perfect. We're fixed now. Just a little peeve I have sometimes with casters. Rock and roll.
Well, This is a nice little find for Namshar. As his mutas pop out, he keeps track of that whole drop and shuts it down. And, well, now kind of the first opportunity for MaSa to get a bit of creeps clear. And it's a Ken's creep that's more than halfway across the map.
Yeah, which is not bad. You know, normally I'd be like, 11 minutes, creep's only halfway across the map. Namshar's been slipping a little bit, but remember, he lost his natural behind this. So this is honestly pretty decent from our boy Namshar. Now, 2-2 should be on the way soon for MaSa. He's got to realize this game is not going to end anytime soon. His tank's getting caught unsieged on the bottom side there, but Namshar is going to evacuate, get out of there, and MaSa is going for a really, really aggressive push now.
Yeah, as you said, he has not yet started his 2-2, and that is going to be a situation where he's going to be in a lot of trouble if he doesn't start that up in the next little bit or win in the next, minute and a half to 2 minutes.
Yeah, which is a tall order, right? Winning in the next minute and a half and 2 minutes when your opponent is way ahead of you on workers, even on army supply. Of course, the army value, I'm sure, in favor of MaSa with all those tanks and marines out, probably by just a little bit here. Plenty of banelings on the field, though. 5 more in production from Namshar, and it's all going to come down, as it almost always does, Steadfast, to these flanks, to the positioning, and to see if those tanks are able to defend. Oh my god, is Namshar actually just going to go for a counter? He's just going to go for a counter. He's not even going to engage!
And, well, that on paper seems like a really good idea, but it... okay, now I like it. Now I like it a lot. 1923 SCVs getting taken out. What a huge blow being dealt to the economy of MaSa.
A bit of an interesting double-edged sword there. At this point, MaSa doesn't really care about his economy too much, right? He was already so far behind, but of course it does start a timer now. MaSa has to win and win fast. If he doesn't, he's not going to win at all. His army supply, though, way behind Namshar. His income way behind Namshar, and this is just looking worse and worse as the Lings and Banes continue to flood through here. No tanks in this at all. GG, and Namshar going to grab the win there. Well done by Namshar. We're going to see another game 3 here, Steadfast.
Yeah, that was a really nice, crisp defense from Namshar. He did, of course, lose that hatchery, as you mentioned, in the early game, but he was able to get some nice return damage with those Ravagers and did a really bang-up job.
Steadfast, would you mind sharing your camera rather than your screen again? Right now, the people back home are seeing a really nice graphic from Discord saying, the stream is over, and we're missing your beautiful face here on the interstitial screen.
Weird. It is telling me that my screen share is off.
Oh, there we go. Hang on. Let me call you right back, Steadfast. And there we go. Oh! Steadfast, you're back. Can you hear me?
Good.
Can you hear me, Steadfast?
I can.
Excellent, excellent. So we're going to get into game number 3 now. Let me talk to the players really quickly. Steadfast, let me know what you... it doesn't matter. They're saying ready to go. Let me talk to the admin really quickly here, Steadfast. And let me know, what did you think about the game overall?
Really well done. Really well done from Namshar right there. MaSa putting... kind of putting it on the line a little bit with that proxy racks. Namshar, though, feeling super comfortable with the position he was in. Not overcommitting, not getting too, tangled up in trying to go for the counter all in. But yeah, very well done.
So good. I was trying to see what I could on the grainy, 280p stream that we were going, but as we said, much better than no game at all. And Steadfast, thank you so much for stepping up with that screen share. We're getting through this. A bit of a weird disconnect for me, and I'm obviously, as well as I do, Steadfast, when something bad like that happens to you, it throws your whole brain into disarray. So the good news is we're back. We're ready to roll here. Our second Game 3 in NA. We are all blessed on this glorious Game 3 day. Let's hop into Romanticide LE to see which of these players is going to go up to 2-1 and which of these players is going to drop down to 1-2. Excellent. And again, Steadfast, if you want to take control of the cam here, hopefully my BNet connection holds out and we can introduce our first 2 players.
All right, we have spawning down in the bottom right position of the map. The red Terran player always has an ace up his sleeve. It is the red Terran player, MaSa, representing Alpha X.
And his opponent in the top left-hand side, in the blue, representing formerly Sweden and now Canada, he is our Zerg player from Psystorm Gaming. His name is Namshar.
Yes, it is, and he looked pretty damn good in that last game. MaSa, you know, he had some moments, but honestly, it felt like most of that was Namshar just really kind of like pinning him to a, you know, what's the word? They study insects. He's like pinning an insect to a board is what
Oh,
it felt
yeah, like an entomologist.
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
it felt a little bit like that in game number 2 right there.
Love me some bug stuff. One of my favorite quotes about bugs ever, I think, is Richard Dawkins, who said, if there is a god, he's fascinated by beetles, because there are just so many different kinds of beetles in the world. I absolutely love that quote. And the quote is obviously much longer and more sophisticated than that, but the message still stands. Beetles are so cool. Hatchcast pool for Namshar here. MaSa going for the regular opener. He's already got his unit over in the natural of Namshar to scout out that natural timing, and things are all looking good right now on both sides of the map after a very interesting game number 2. Game 3 seems to be a bit more normal here, as these players really ready to rock and roll.
Well, this is kind of an interesting move right now from MaSa, not electing to go for this Reaper here, instead deciding to go for this reactor opening into double Marine. Yeah, very, very interesting right here.
Yeah, this is usually indicative of a drop early in the game, so we'll see the factory coming down, likely to starport after that, and what he's probably going to go for is a double drop with 16 Marines and 2 medevacs. In fact, we can already see that SCV sharking around. It's entirely possible that he'll go for a giant drop here. It's also possible that he'll just get a couple Marines out early, swap over the factory, and go for a 4 Hellion drop as well. We can see that SCV nestling itself up at about the 11 o'clock position, just outside the potential third base of Namshar, and he might drop that starport proxied if he's feeling cheeky. That'd be a very aggressive proxy position, though.
It would, and honestly, you don't see that many proxies. I think this is just to keep an eye on the potential of the third base, but he does not realize that Namshar has taken the forward third.
Yeah,
this is not common, and well, this is a little bit weird. But with the number of Marines we're seeing so far, I think we're going to see a Hellbat push. That is my prediction for this game.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I'd love Terran openers because they're a little bit flexible and there's so much you can do with it. First 2 Hellions hitting the field. We'll see if that factory drops on 2 more Hellions behind us. He has already swapped it over to the reactor, as you said. And what we'll be looking for then is the armory timing for MaSa, if in fact that's what he's going for. Hellbat pushes can be so scary. Especially if you're unprepared for them. Those Hellbats just do so much splash damage, and there it is. Good read from Steadfast. Rather than going for the double medevac, he is just going to go for the double Hellions here and go for the Hellbat push. Great read, Steadfast.
I have been on the receiving end of this enough times to recognize what this Marine count means. And this is going to be a really, really potent Hellbat push because there is going to be so many Marines. And, well, this is just going to be very, very tough to deal with without being scouted. Baneling Nest is coming down, and this Overlord is going to come in, but the Armory is in such a cheeky location. Which way does he go?
Let's see if he sees these bases on Romanticide. These main bases are enormous, and it looks like Namshar is going to miss it there. Will not scout out. Let's check his vision here really quickly. But yeah, will not scout out that armory. He's going to go back for another pass and won't see it. Now, do you think that Namshar's going to be fooled into thinking this is the double Marine trial? I guess he doesn't. He knows now that the Hellbats are on his position, so a little bit too late for that. But he's not prepared quite as well as he should be. First 7 Banelings only just now starting Steadfast.
Yeah, that Spine Crawler's going to get taken out. 1 or 2 of these Banelings will get target fired down before they finish up, but the remainder are going to pop out. Man, this has already been a lot of damage. 10 drones going down. Nice target fire on that one Baneling. Another one does get a decent shot on these Hellbats. Where is the medevac? Did it get picked off? Oh, it did get picked off. So nice job from Namshar, and he is going to clean this up. Not all that bad.
Not all that bad indeed. Only 10 drones going down, and look at the resources lost tab here. You'll see it is pretty bad for Namshar, losing 50 units for almost 2/3 or yeah, 1/3 more the resources than MaSa lost. But overall, the real problem now is the counter pressure. Luckily, the wall is secure, the Hellions are behind it, and there's a third base on the way for MaSa. So he's going to be able to recover from this aggression, just like last game, where he's going to open up with a very specific, carefully timed build that's quite aggressive and a good timing, and be able to macro his way back out of it.
Funnily enough, Namshar didn't see that Liberator. Like, he didn't actually have the vision of it. But he will get into a nice position where the Liberator was not covering. He's going to force it to unsiege, only losing a bit of mining time. And now, nice stutter step to keep this Liberator from sieging up. And, it's going to be a little bit close, but Namshar's not going to take the risk.
Wow.
And, well, he is going to be able to...
Oh, man.
I think he can still reach it from there. I don't think MaSa pulled it far enough back. Oh my God. Okay, he did by... Wow. Yeah, Queens have they don't have as much range anymore.
Yes, yes.
7 range should definitely hit that.
That's right.
That's because it's not 7 range anymore.
MaSa enjoying those patch notes very much right now, I'm sure. Behind this, MaSa going bio again this game. 3 more racks coming down, but look at this. He's adding in an extra factory and a bunch of Widow Mines, and this is a style that we've seen a couple times in DreamHack with these Terrans. Normally, the form it takes is you go for double factory into then going into a lot of bio, a lot of barracks rather. And that's normally what we've seen here is 2 factory into 3 and then 5 barracks to get a lot of Widow Mines out very early. Looks like MaSa just changing things up a little bit with the Hellbat push. He decided he already had already had a reactored factory out, and was going to just add on a couple more Widow Mines here. So it looks like Marine, Widow Mine, and hopefully some more Medivacs as soon as he's done cutting Medivacs. There we go. 2 more Medivacs on the way. We're good.
Yeah, so this is a pretty nice position, I would say, for MaSa, all things considered. Namshar has stabilized decently. His creep spread is still decent. That little scan and clear from MaSa has since been replenished. There's a weird scenario, by the way, with specifically this little interaction right here. We are going to see a scan clear out these creep tumors. But the way that spreading creep uphill works is there is exactly 1 hex where it will grant vision up the hill. And that is exactly where they put those minerals. So you cannot spread creep up that hill without having more vision. Nice grab on these Hellions. MaSa not really paying attention right there.
Yeah.
But ends up being a good little cleanup for Namshar.
Yeah, a good cleanup for Namshar there, and obviously the loss of Hellions is not just the loss of a little bit of damage potentially against the Lings, of course, but the scouting, which is so key. And with no scans, with no Hellions out, it doesn't matter if you've got scans available, you still can't pick back the creep either. So big wins for Namshar, even though, as you were saying, very interesting map choices here by the map maker Maris to prevent the spread of creep right down the middle of that base, just making it a little bit more friendly for the Terran and Protoss players who want to grab that as their 5th base or 4th base. Drilling Claws on the way, though, and +1. Interesting choice here. +1 armor for those Widow Mines, I assume, to be able to tank the Ling and Baneling shots just a little bit better.
Yeah, it serves a couple of purposes. It works for these Medivacs. Nice snipe on that 1 Queen. It did get transfused, but it was still able to get gunned down.
Yeah.
So it works quite well. It's armor for the Widow Mines. It's armor for the Medivacs. If you ever end up having to go up against Mutas, it's armor for Thors.
Yeah.
Of course, armor for tanks, but, tanks benefit a lot more from the attack.
Sure.
But it's still a very versatile, good utility upgrade. And if we ever end up getting to Mass Liberator, it's armor for the Liberators as well.
Definitely. A little drop in the main here. The Widow Mine's getting 6 kills, it looks like. Will be responded to eventually, but that will be pushed away. I believe the Medevac now in the natural, able to drop 1 more Widow Mine here, but it looks like a nice pull from Namshar. Very close here. Smart burrowing and unburrowing from our boy. And the Baneling's gonna go ahead and manually explode. Wow, trading, I think, 4 Banelings there, manually exploding them on that 1 Widow Mine. So actually, the last Widow Mine's still getting some decent damage, despite Namshar scouting it and doing everything else right.
Yeah, and this Medevac may actually get away here, hilariously.
Wow.
Namshar going for... Oh, man, this 1 Widow Mine got another shot in the main base. It's always nice. Looks like it hit an Overlord, though, so I don't think that was any value there. This is a lot of creep to clear, though, before MaSa can actually threaten this forward base.
That's so funny, Steadfast. I was just about to talk about the creep spread here from Namshar and how it has been pretty phenomenal. Despite your opponent being on Marine, Mine, Medevac, which can be a very, very easy composition to deny creep spread. Oh my god, that Widow Mine in the main still alive. Forgot to kill it off. Forgot to kill it off. He burrowed the spore and then forgot to kill it off. 5 more drones going down. That Widow Mine is a hero. But yeah, very easy to clear creep when you're on Marine, Medevac, Mine. But MaSa's just been put back so well. Fighting just at the edge of creep here. The Medevac on the south side goes down. The Widowmines get some decent shots off on those Banelings, though, and a lot of Banelings going down. Unable to completely clear MaSa from this, and MaSa really, wow, in a lot better position than he thought he was going to be after that large attack from Namshar, who has a distinct army advantage and army value advantage as well. Dang, look at the army value tab right now.
Yeah, that is a big advantage for Namshar right now. Now, a lot of it is in mineral units.
Yeah.
But he is getting his hive on the way. He's already got the lurker den done. And, ooh, nice little counterattack going to come in before this is a planetary.
Oh.
And 2/2 Lings are going to destroy this SCV line. 6 SCVs getting taken out. These Marines not going to be enough to deal with this. Meanwhile, big fight going down in the middle. Oh, that's a friendly fire Widowmine right there. And another Overseer baiting out that Widowmine. That Overseer was MVP for sure.
Definitely. Usually, of course, you love to see those Widowmine shots go down the Overseers because the Overseers can tank them, right? It takes, what, 2 Widowmine shots to kill off an Overseer steadfast?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, very nicely played there by Namshar, who finds himself now at 100 army supply to 76, cleaning up the Widowmine in the natural here. No additional pressure coming out from MaSa, who finds himself in a tough spot. He's been unable to earlier in the game, we were talking about this +1 armor upgrade for vehicles, and you were saying that, hey, yeah, if it goes to late game, that's good for your Thors, that's good for your Liberators, that's good. There's none of that on the map for MaSa right now. He's been so starved for gas this entire game that he hasn't really been able to tech up too much more than he would like to. So unfortunately, he's still going to be stuck on just Marine, Mine, Medevac, which is good in the early game and can be good in the mid game. But if those lurkers come out steadfast, it's going to be very difficult to fight against.
Yeah, you need some kind of splash damage. We are going to see Namshar commit in for this command center. Will take it out. That is a really nice denial. And looks like he Baneling busted this other command center on the right side. Huge swing of momentum economically in favor of Namshar. And, well, you talked about the late game and the lack thereof for MaSa. If he was ever about to go into the late game, he just got set back into the Stone Age.
To the Stone Age, indeed. It's now 6 bases, 7 bases for Namshar as he's double expanding. Oh my god. To 3 for MaSa. MaSa desperate to get more on the map, but take a look at this very sad income advantage graph, spiking back and forth with some mules, but now it's at a point where even the mules aren't going to matter. Despite having 67 SCVs, MaSa's only got 3 bases from which to mine. He's trying to build 2 command centers, but I don't know that he can invest in command centers right now, as the lurkers are out now. They don't have that tunnel, I almost said tunneling claws, sorry. They don't have the adaptive talons upgrade yet, which means their burrows are going to be a little bit more slow, but with the Hydralisks out and with the Vipers here for those yoinks, this is just looking better and better for Namshar as his army composition improves to match his army supply advantage.
Yeah, this is a really rough position right now for MaSa. As you said, he just doesn't have an answer to these lurkers. Only a couple of tanks on the map, and there's already Vipers. Oh, another hero Overseer until it wasn't right there. But now the lurkers are going to move in. Adaptive Talons finishes up just after they burrow.
Yeah.
But it is still going to be enough to break on through here. And MaSa will not be able to get in and secure that 4th base. In fact, the Lings even doing a little bit of damage to the bio. All the tanks being cleaned up. Medevacs going down. MaSa, where is his supply? It feels like he is way lower than 77 supply right now. 77 armor supply.
Yeah.
Oh, and there it is.
Little drop going out at the top here, which is quite nice. This base will go down, but honestly, since Namshar double expanded earlier, and he's built another base at the inside 12 o'clock position as well, he is going to be a-okay to trade out 1 base in exchange for this attack that he's got going on the other side of the map. I think this is a really nice position for Namshar right now, and as you said, I'm just not sure where MaSa's army supply is, right? We can see it there in orange and black at the bottom of the map, 87 army supply out, but it still does just look very anemic right now compared to Namshar's very beefy army. 10 lurkers, 2 Vipers, Hydralisks, 13 Banes. Just a terrifying Zerg army. This is the back of the box art from Heart of the Swarm here, Steadfast.
Oh, and he's going to get abducts on 2 medevacs, both of which had units. And now lurkers are going to burrow on this base, and it is all but dead right now. He will have to evacuate these SCVs, but he's got nowhere to run back to. He's dead, basically broke at this point.
Blinding clouds on the